The Rouman Cinema Podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Rouman Cinema Podcast, where we watch the top movie each week and then we come on here and chat about it. My name is Emma.
My name is Wyatt.
And we just got done watching Thor, Love and Thunder. Right off the bat, what did you think?
A lot of love, not enough thunder.
And I could argue opposite. This movie was around 2 hours and stars Chris Hemsworth, Christian Bale, Natalie Portman comes back to tell this quote-unquote love story, which I wouldn't say go into it and expect that. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it kept it moving for sure.
I enjoyed it. I was immersed. Normally, with movies we watch, I can kind of really pick out okay, the first act just ended, the second act just ended, and then now we're in the third act. I can pinpoint exactly when different plot points signify what point of the movie we're at. But it wasn't until we got to the start of the third act that I was like, oh wow, we're there already. So
yeah, it definitely kept it moving. I didn't think that they stayed on one scene for too long at all. It was pretty boom 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 right to the next.
Yeah.
Which I like that in a movie, especially this type of movie. You don't need a whole lot of build up, so it's let's just get to the meat and potatoes.
With MCU movies, you've had 15 years now of build up for every single movie you put out. I think they're getting to the point where it's we can just get to the point of this movie. We don't need too much exposition here.
Right.
Synopsis is Thor's in space, and there's this guy named Gore the God Butcher, right? And he's there to butcher gods. And so Thor's got to be yo, let's stop this God Butcher, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the plot, I would say.
Yeah, and Natalie Portman comes back to help him.
Oh yes, as the
efforts.
mighty Thor.
Yeah. So the expectations, this is from an article from Variety. Expectations for the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe entry are sky high, considering the last comic book outing of Thor is widely considered one of the best Marvel movies. The
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think would you say that it met your expectations?
I would say I got what I wanted from it. Yeah, I would say visually it was very appealing. The story was well written. Like we said, it's well paced. It doesn't drag. I wouldn't say it goes too fast. I would say the pacing's very good on it, and it tells a nice story.
Yeah, and kind of commenting on the story itself, there's a little younger boy sitting in the row next to me, and he seemed to be very excited about the whole thing. And then also his mom, we all were laughing along with it. So I think, it's good for the whole family. There's a little bit of swearing, but...
A little bit of swearing. And Christian Bale, dude. Can we talk about Christian Bale? I've been dying to talk about Christian Bale.
For sure.
Christian Bale is weird in this movie, and I like it. I think every movie would benefit.
Who does he play?
He plays Gore.
Oh, okay.
He's the God Butcher.
Okay.
He's the creepiest dude in the movie.
Yeah.
I love Christian Bale. I think every movie would benefit from having Christian Bale, and this is proof that he is just so charismatic.
He
even
was
when
really
playing.
the God Butcher's really scary. I thought looking. I mean,
yeah,
these creatures get scary, but I don't know. He just was a lot freakier than I thought he would look.
I've looked at the original comic book design because I remember when Gore was revealed in the trailer. Some Marvel fans were upset because it wasn't the most comic accurate,
Mm-hmm.
But it's I've looked at the comic design, and I think if they would have put that into the movie, they would have done it scarier. But it also would have required a ton of CGI,
Mm-hmm.
especially around the face area. And if Christian Bale's face would be covered in CGI, then this villain, this character, would not work the way it does, because part of what he brings to the table is how he uses his facial expressions to tell the story and to tell, that adds just as much as his delivery to it. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think, so much of these movies are CGI that it's kind of fun to see those elements that, are real, quote unquote real, that are actual physical props and costume design and stuff. I think, that's always impressive. I just like to look at that kind of stuff
Yeah,
to see how they pull that off.
because everything is CGI. Like all these
Mhm.
backdrops, you can tell are CGI. So it's like, show me what you can do without CGI, and that's
Right.
and I was impressed with Christian Bale's character, Gore.
Yeah, 'cause these types of movies, there isn't a whole lot of set design because these locations are so outrageously large. They're not, that doesn't make sense to create them physically. So yeah, any point that you can find when they put it together themselves is really impressive to watch. So continuing from this article from Variety, film critic Simon Thompson wrote, #Love and Thor is a vivid and vibrant blast that delivers. Hemsworth's Thor remains a jewel in Marvel's crown. Bale's Gore is a killer boogeyman blending the campy and the creepy. Portman's Foster and Thompson's Valkyrie are a top-notch pairing. Crown's Zeus is chef's kiss, is what this critic wrote. And I would say each of the characters were well picked, or each of the actors and actresses picked for these characters I thought was really well done. And it was fun to see the two women really, really killing it out there. I don't know, I was just really...
Go ladies.
They were a cool pairing, though, like, together.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was really fun to watch. Especially when a lot of these movies are centered around men. It's fun to see the women be superheroes, too.
Get that other side of it.
Yeah. And, yeah, anything else to say on, like, the acting itself?
Just everyone did a good job. There's a lot of, for the characters where there's a lot of history behind it, you can feel that. And for the characters where
Mhm.
they're trying to, almost more make a statement in this movie, they do a wonderful job of that.
For sure. And, this movie, attempted, whether they succeeded or not is up to you, but at being pretty comedic, I would say. I would say some of the jokes stuck for me. Some of them didn't. I mean, it's that, like, goofy, like, one-off, lines.
Yeah.
It's not so much.
Those patented Marvel one-liners
Yeah.
that they throw in every 5 minutes because they can't let a scene be too serious.
Yeah. Which, I appreciate because, if you want to see a serious movie, go see something else, you
Yeah.
know? But
I'll say I could make I can make a clear distinction between the Taika Waititi style jokes and the very Marvel one-liner style of jokes. And so, like, the ones that stuck for me are the ones that I can tell are like, that's Taika Waititi's writing, that's what he does.
yeah, for sure. From Slate.com, a review kind of talks about the humor as well. That Thor Love and Thunder made me laugh aloud 3 or 4 times, a good number by MCU standards, even if not every joke tossed out by the gag-dense script lands. So I would say that's a common thought. But I would say with any of these movies,
Oh, yeah.
even, I would say, the last Marvel movie we watched was Doctor Strange. I would say that one was not funny.
Right.
Like this one.
I'd very
That
much
one was
agree.
very much more serious and dark, and it almost felt out of place in my opinion. Like, it doesn't quite fit in, like, with this and, Spider-Man and
Yeah.
No Way Home. And, I don't know. I liked that movie enough, but it felt like it was trying to be its own thing, in my opinion. Like,
It felt like it was caught halfway in between being its own thing and being a Marvel thing, and it just was... It was messy, is how I would describe it.
yeah. So I would say, like, if you saw Doctor Strange and were kind of turned off by the, like, very dark...
If you weren't feeling
yeah.
Doctor Strange,
I
then
wouldn't
this might be more your speed.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say, like, don't swear off Marvel movies because of that. I would say that this comes back and is the same type of movie, I would say, as No Way Home. like with that kind of jokes and, the pacing and that kind of thing and the villains.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. I didn't even realize that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is a little similar to Christian Bale's Gore,
mm-hmm.
and they were both in American Psycho. So isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. So let's see. Christian Bale's performance is particularly praised in this article from Variety, writing that Christian Bale was phenomenally menacing as Thor's villain, Gore the God Butcher, from one of the creepiest Marvel villains we've ever seen on screen. Gave me some Dark Knight, Ledger Joker vibes at one point.
Which is like, I mean, he acted opposite of him in The Dark Knight, so I could definitely feel that influence, and it kind of made me smile of like, oh, he's taking notes from Heath Ledger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's nice.
Yeah, but I would definitely say like this villain he's scary for sure. And I, not to spoil anything, but they like go into like why he's a villain and stuff, which I haven't seen a lot of Marvel movies, so maybe that was already known, but I thought that was interesting to know his backstory,
They gotta do that to make you go, well,
Yeah, it's like almost like you kind of want to feel bad for him, but also he's being terrible.
He's also really he's also just really creepy.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw this in the news, but Natalie Portman told Entertainment Weekly that Thor: Love and Thunder has one of the most visually stunning scenes she's ever seen on film, and it was shot in a random Best Buy parking lot. She didn't say what scene it was.
I think I know which scene, because there was a particular scene that I looked at and went, wow, this is the most comic book looking scene I've ever seen from a comic book movie, which is the highest praise I can give anything visually.
If you say it, will it spoil it?
I think so. I don't know. Everything's a spoiler in a Marvel movie. Okay. You can't say anything.
Okay. Yeah, so when you're watching that movie, be on the lookout to see what scene you think it is. When we're recording this, it hasn't been revealed. So we'll see what the internet thinks it is, and if Natalie confirms or denies any of these. But I thought that was interesting. That's kind of made a lot of headlines, actually. So
interesting.
Yeah, so with Thor: Love and Thunder, we get a mostly lighthearted romp through the post-Avengers life as a former world saver, this time created by a horror comedy veteran, but by a newly arrived star in that genre. So maybe I just like misunderstood the synopsis, but I kind of thought it would go more into his. Wasn't he supposed to be retired?
Right, I thought that too, and
I feel like it did not touch on that at all.
Yeah.
That was like not. I could have sworn that we read in the synopsis last week that it was. I thought it was like that he was coming out of retirement, and I wouldn't say that was the plot at all.
I think the bridge between Endgame and this movie is very bizarre. Like, it doesn't connect the best, because I don't like, and they don't really touch on that. Is like, how does it go from that to that, and like, how does this all happen?
Yeah. So I've never seen any of the other Thor movies, so I'm a fake fan. But when I was sitting there and I was thinking, like, can you watch this if you haven't seen any of the other ones? I would say for sure, but in a way, it feels like I didn't actually know what was going on. Like, you've seen the other ones, right?
Yeah.
So, like, did you feel like it all made? I don't know. Like, did it? What do you think? Did it tie in a lot?
I mean, it's not like, I mean, having Natalie Portman, who plays a character that hasn't been seen for a little bit from the other movies, that's gonna tie in. But Korg, our Taika Waititi's role, Korg, kind of gives us the exposition, and so I think it's fine. I think anyone could really watch it and.
I mean, yeah, I was like still able to enjoy it and watch it and stuff. I just was curious if maybe that would make the love story a little more strong if you knew the stronger backstory, because they do go into it a little bit with that aspect of it, but I felt like it was like either I didn't know it all or it was a
Yeah,
little
and
rushed.
it's been a while since I've watched the original Thor, and I hope I never watch The Dark World again. So, and that's where the most of that relationship kind of lives, and so that's where most of that backstory is. So it's like, they're older, and so I feel like not a lot of people are going to come into this with their memories completely refreshed. So obviously they have to do their due diligence in updating us, the viewer.
Yeah, so I think that helps it be able to. You can just walk in and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So continuing from the Slate.com review, Thor: Love and Thunder marks the first time an MCU hero has ever gotten a fourth freestanding film to himself. An odd distinction for Thor, perhaps the least introspective of the whole Avengers class. If this particular franchise's material feels at times a bit thin to be spun out even to 2 hours, it may simply be that 3 solo movies per Avenger is more than enough. Would you agree?
So here's the thing. The first 2 Thor movies weren't good, I suppose, is how I would put it. I just they after Thor: The Dark World, the second Thor movie, they switch directions. They say, Taika Waititi, save us. We need Thor to be cool again. And he said, oh, I'll make Thor cool again, but you gotta give me a couple goes at it. And so now he gets a couple goes at it, and I think there could be a third one, but like it's like after. Like in Ragnarok, it's like a whole new Thor. It really is. So I think the way they've set up the story now is you can't limit it to 3. And I think if people like the character and you have a director who's very willing to work for you and do things with his character, I don't think Marvel's going to say, no, we need to stop it now.
Yeah. And I didn't feel like it was thin like any more than, but again, I haven't seen the others, so I don't know. Like,
this was a lot more focused than a lot of other Marvel movies. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely liked it more than Doctor Strange. It just was more visually impressive. It was more fun. It was like
the soundtrack is
chill.
better. I mean, Guns N' Roses on the soundtrack. I mean,
Yeah.
I was a little confused at first, but I mean, it makes sense because I mean, in this movie, Taika Waititi is a big rock guy.
Yeah.
Get it? Because Korg is made of rocks,
yeah.
and that's hey.
That's so funny.
All right. I thought of that one the other day.
Oh my gosh.
I've been waiting.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you've had that one locked. All right. Yeah, I mean, I like rock music, so that was fine. It was good. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I would say it was good. It's good enough for me. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but I don't think it was a waste of 2 hours.
It told a story, and I had a smile on my face at the end of it. I was like, all right. And like, I love Christian Bale. I love when good actors just get to act good in like these like bigger movies, and so it just made me happy to see Christian Bale doing his thing up there.
Yeah, so any other final thoughts on this movie as a whole?
No, I think I've said my piece. It's a good movie. It's a fun watch.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you're a Marvel fan, definitely come out and see it. It's not going to be a waste of your time. I don't think it's going to disappoint you. And yeah. And then so next week, Where the Crawdads Sing is coming.
That's based on a book.
Yes, I love the book. The book
Never
is incredible.
read it.
It is so good, and I'm super excited for this movie.
There's actually a lot of hype for this movie, which is cool.
The main girl, I forget her name now, but she is incredible. Have you ever? You probably haven't, but I loved her in Normal People.
It's never, not once.
It's a show on Hulu. 10 out of 10. But yeah, so I'm really, 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 really excited for this movie. And the book is incredible as well. So I would definitely recommend. I think we'll see, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to watch them like you could watch the movie and then read the book or vice versa.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely if you've seen or if you read the book, definitely come out and see the movie. So that comes out, premieres next Thursday. And then also at the same time, Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank will be here as well on Thursday.
Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank, or as I like to call it, Samuel L. Jackson wanted to buy a boat.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't. I think it'll maybe be fun for.
I don't think it
kids.
can top Minions. I don't think
Oh, no.
anything on Earth will top Minions. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
Minions did incredible in the box office this past weekend.
there have been multiple people dressed up all fancy.
Mhm.
The other night, there were people dressed in banana costumes to see Minions.
I heard that in the UK they banned like people wearing suits because of the gentle Minions. Have you heard of this? On
Yes.
TikTok.
Yep.
And yes, now they're like you have to be accompanied by an adult if you are going to wear a suit, I guess, at certain at certain theaters, which I thought was really funny.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, honestly, I was like, I was excited for the Minions movie because why not?
Because why not?
But I did not expect it to like blow up as much as it did.
Because the same thing happened to Morbius, where everyone was like, Morbius is the greatest movie of all time, blah, 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 blah. Let's all go see Morbius, blah, blah, blah. But then nobody actually saw it.
Right.
But it's, I guess, I don't know. I mean, why not Minions, I guess? Good for Steve Carell is all I got to say.
Honestly. And I don't know if you've seen the videos where like people are like cheering and in there like in the theater and like screaming like fans because they're so excited. I think they're joking, but still, it's just funny.
They bought a ticket, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
it's funny. And it was a good movie. I liked it. I would watch it again for sure. Excuse the plane. We're sitting outside.
we are recording outside, yes. It's just a beautiful day out.
It's only sprinkling a little bit.
There's a plane, yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen Minions, that would be a really good one to come out and see as well. But yeah, so Paws of Fury. Back to that.
All right.
That'll be a good kids movie,
Michael
we'll see.
Cera, Samuel L. Jackson, George Takei, Michelle. Is Michelle Yeoh in it? No, Michelle Yeoh is in Minions.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we also Jurassic World is still playing, as well as Minions, like we were just talking about, and Top Gun and Elvis are still here. Which honestly, all really good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different styles, but pretty good.
Like, honestly, you want to spend a day at the theater and watch all of them? Like, go for it because.
Save Elvis for last, because after that you're gonna be exhausted.
Are you freaking kidding me? No, you're not.
Yes, it's long and there's so much happening during the entire movie.
Yeah, but it's.
I would need 2 hours of rest after that.
No, you do not. No, you need to just get in the car and listen to Elvis because it's so good. No, save Jurassic World for last.
Oh, wow. That's exhausting in a different way, but.
Yeah, because it's like, what was it, like 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, and it was interesting. But definitely the Minions, Top Gun, and Elvis for sure.
Absolutely.
10 out of 10. But yeah, so definitely come out and see Thor, Love and Thunder. This is the fourth one.
Thor 4, Gore, and Thor.
And would recommend, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anything else you'd like to say?
I want to go watch American Psycho now.
No. No, thank you.
I like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yep.
I'm a fanboy.
I will not be doing that. But yeah. So, alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.